HLN.
George Zimmerman putting the gun up for auction they used to kill Trayvon Martin.
It's offensive, it's outrageous, and it's insulting.
The emotions run high when we talk about this issue and that gun.
This is not about George Zimmerman for us.
It's like he is shooting and killing Trayvon all over again 4 years later with this attempt to auction off this gun like it's some kind of trophy.
This is about the Second Amendment and standing firm for individual rights as adults to make their own decision.
Bad behavior tonight. George Zimmerman, of course, Trayvon Martin's killer, is criticizing the dead teenager's parents. In an interview with the Daily Beast, Zimmerman says, quote, they didn't raise their son right. He attacked a complete stranger and attempted to kill him. Back with Jenna, Mark, and Yodit. Joining me via Skype, Crystal Wright, public relations executive, conservative commentator, and founder of the website conservativeblackchick.com. Now, we always said we'd see more of who Zimmerman is. Mark, it's sort of like O.J. Simpson. You kind of see more he is, over time. And my office has been throwing around lots of terms. Is he sick, or is he a sap, or is he ill, or is he an a-hole? These are sort of this, which is it? Is this guy sick, or is he a bad dude?
Look, it's certainly not criminal for him to do it. It may be felony. The height of felony bad taste, number one, to sell the gun or auction it off, and then to insult the parents. Who I've met both of them. They're wonderful people. They hardly deserve that kind of heartache. I mean, nobody ever wants to lose a child and then have the person who's responsible insulting them on top of it. I mean, it's just maybe the height of bad taste. I don't know if he's sick. I do know that when people go through this, when they go through being a pariah, when they go through all of this public condemnation, they tend to react poorly. And you mentioned O.J. I can think of a lot of other people who have gone through that, and they just never recover. Clearly, this is an example of that. He's probably desperate for money. He doesn't get it, and what can you do except publicly shame him more? And I don't think that's going to do anything.
But Crystal, felony bad taste?
Look, I think selling the gun is probably not in the greatest of taste. I think the whoever buys the gun is also a gross person, but he has a right to do it. And to your other guest's point, he probably needs the money. As far as his comments, he's right. I don't think that Trayvon Martin's parents spent a lot of time raising him. They were busy leading their lives, and the night that he was shot in Sanford, his father was out with his girlfriend, and his father was staying in his girlfriend's condominium. I mean, look, we have been through this over and over again, Dr. Drew. I'm not going to change what I feel about this. I think it's sad the young man is no longer with us, but it was a lack of strong parenting that were in the that he led to his demise.
Yodit.
Now, George Zimmerman is like up at this point.
I'm disgusted.
So, this isn't about Black Lives Matter and all this other nonsense. President Obama decided to make Trayvon Martin the black teen du jour. Meanwhile, you have blacks killing young black teens in Chicago and Philadelphia and D.C. Every day, right this moment, you have young black people being slain, and nobody cares about them. They are nameless to the rest of America.
Yodit?
That argument is so tired, and I'm tired of hearing about it. We're talking about this particular case right now. Trayvon Martin's parents were not on trial as the greatest parents on earth or not, okay? That's not the point. The point is this guy, George Zimmerman, is clearly demonstrating a behavior that could actually make me question his parents and how they brought him up. That is the point, and it's disgusting to sit here and try to attack the family members and to throw dirt on Trayvon Martin's name. He's dead, but I mean, show some respect. And for him to be so hypocritical and sit there and say that they are cashing in on their son's death when he's actually doing that. His parents have traveled this country advocating, arguing before legislative bodies and groups and organizations trying to bring about awareness to an issue that is so, excuse me, let me finish, to an issue that is so important in this country. Yet George Zimmerman, what he is doing is cashing in on his death, selling American flag paintings on eBay for $100K.
Hold on.
That is hypocritical, and you shouldn't do that.
Let's get Crystal's response. Go ahead.
So 1 minute you say that George Zimmerman shouldn't cash in by selling the gun that he killed Trayvon Martin with, which I don't condone. But then the next breath, you talk about Trayvon Martin's parents, who, by the way, have cashed in on their son's death very well, handsomely. And that's not going to bring their son back. And I know many parents who've lost teens tragically. Again, I go back to Chicago and the genocide in Chicago. You have FBI Director Comey, who has said the so-called Ferguson effect has led to a rash of homicides in more than 24 cities across America, including Chicago.
Hang on a second.
Where is your outrage on that?
Where's
your outrage on that?
Wait, Mark, go ahead. Help me out here, Mark. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Crystal, why is there linkage between those two? Because I don't understand that. I can sit here and I can have absolute, I can be appalled by what's happening in Chicago. I can be appalled by what's happening in the community. I see it all the time in the criminal justice system. It's appalling to me. But why is that equated with the fact that it's okay when somebody loses their loved one? Exactly. And when you say cashed in, there is a civil justice system. The civil justice system says when the criminal system doesn't work, you get to go to the civil justice system. And I know you want to call it cashing in, but what does one have to do with the other? Why is it that we have to conflate those two and say, oh, it's okay for George Zimmerman to shoot and kill somebody and then sell the gun and insult the parents because black kids are getting killed by other black kids in Chicago?
Well, Mark,
it's a logical fallacy.
Where is the compassion?
I tell you why I'm connecting the two. I'll tell you why I'm connecting the two, Mark, and I have compassion. Where is your compassion, Mark, for all these black kids that are killed senselessly in the same? You talk about Trayvon Martin. I don't ever see you getting really upset and agitated about Hydea Pendleton. Do you know her name? You know Hydea Pendleton, the young black woman from Chicago who sang at President Barack Obama.
And the idea.
There are a lot of black kids and white kids who are nameless. And they don't get the attention that Trayvon Martin got. That's why I am upset.
Crystal?
He is not special.
I got to go to break. Mark, hold on. Got to make.
Crystal.
When we come back, we'll make some predictions about what the future holds. We'll get back to the panel after the break.